to the inaugural edition, the pilot episode of the new City podcast. This is an informational podcast to talk about things that are happening in town, both events, activities, things that happen, school starting, things like that, as well as some of the things that we think our residents and our citizens need to know, or would be beneficial knowing some of the things you maybe don't think about every day. So my name is Chris DeVries. I'm Community Development Director for the City of Wahpeton.
Tony Lopez. I'm actually the Public Utility Assistant now.
And we are going to be talking about a few things today just to kind of kick this off. I wanted to talk about some events coming up, a couple of things. One of the things we have that's hard to believe how close it's getting is our Classy and Classic Car Show is coming up on September 11th, and it'll be downtown Wahpeton. We have live music. We have the same band coming back that played last year. They were very well received. We have a food vendor. We'll have a petting zoo, which is popular with both kids and adults actually. And of course, the Classy and Classic cars. We open it up to cars, trucks, motorcycles. It's free to enter. It's free, of course, to walk through. We always have a good time as long as we have good weather. It's a lot of fun, brings a lot of people downtown. So we don't have to pre-register. We are going to open up the street to parking about 3:30 in the afternoon. The event starts at 4 and it goes to 7. We have some prizes, so we'll be announcing the winners of a couple of different categories, probably around sometime between 6:40, 6:45, and then it'll be done at 7. We need to clean off the street. One other thing I wanted to talk about is, most people I think around here know, Holiday Lane, we have that pop up for the holiday season. And as you can imagine, as we move along, some things eventually will wear out. This is probably, I think this is year 6 or 7 already, which again is hard to believe. But we do have time to time need to change some things out, and we want to keep it fresh, add some new things. So one thing I like to do is open it up if anybody's interested, whether it be an individual, a family, a business, or other organization, club, something like that, to sponsor one of the figures down at Holiday Lane. We have a list of figures that I feel would be good to have down there that would complement what we already have. We just ask that organization, person, whatever it is, just pay for the figure. We pay for the shipping to get it in, and we put your name on our donor board, and that we guarantee for 3 years. That'll be up for 3 years or possibly more. We've had a lot of figures that have lasted this whole time so far, so definitely could be longer than 3 years. But that's something that I think is a nice way. I started it off after my dad passed and dedicated one of the figures down there to him. Our family bought it and wanted to open it up to others. So it's just a fun way. And it seems a little early, but it is getting to the time where we do need to place some orders to make sure it gets here in time, because we'll be starting to set up in October before the weather gets too cold.
So with that said, you said it was the 7th annual. How many did you start off with, and how many figurines do you have now?
Good question of how many. I have an inventory, but I don't have it in front of me. But like I say, I believe this is year 7. Now the first year we had one big figure, and then we just lit up the trees because we had to pay for getting power, electricity, and whatnot down into the park there. And the next year is when we started placing figures down there. It's just grown and become bigger, and we have the music. We have the Santa house down there, and we have a Santa and Mrs. Claus that are there about every weekend in December, which is really great. So we have a lot of different figures down there. I couldn't tell you how many, but it fills up the Laura Hughes Drive. This is the one-way street down there. Fills it up really well.
And you indicated that you got this sponsorship going now because you want to fill it up again this year, and
this is it's a fun way for people to honor somebody, or just if you just like Holiday Lane, you want to add to it, we'll put your name on there. You can make it anonymously if you don't want your name on there, which we've had 1 or 2 of those. But as I said, we want to make sure we get people's names on there if that's what they want, to get the recognition and know people, and people know who has helped it out. But it's just a little different way in order for us to keep it fresh, to keep it going. And as I said, there have been a couple of our figures that, between weather or some wiring issues, have gone out.
Yeah.
And so,
And it happens.
yeah,
It's
it
just
happens.
part of it.
It's
You know,
winter.
the weather,
Yep. But like I said, we will, if something happens, if we had some big storm and one of the figures that were sponsored, if something happens to it, we'll replace it at our cost, because we want to make sure that it's the people get their sponsorship due.
No, and I think that's a great thing. Now, for that car show, is that what, 4th, 5th annual? What is that?
Oh boy, we've been doing that for a long time. Actually, the first time we did a car show downtown was in 2010, after Dakota Avenue was refinished, was redone. We dedicated Dakota Avenue and had a car show down there. Had a lot of people. We gave away free food.
Yeah, that always helps.
That helps. We had a lot of people down there. We've done it most of the years, so that was 15 years ago. So we've done it most years. There have been a couple we've had to. We didn't have it for one reason or another, and then I think a couple of years ago it got rained out. So unfortunately, we've had a couple of those things, but for the most part, we've really tried to keep it going. And we have the car enthusiasts, a very dedicated group of people.
Oh yeah,
So
yes they are.
they like their machines a lot, and they are happy to show them off and talk to people about them. So there's definitely that crowd for it, and it's just a fun way to get people downtown, spend some time down there. In the future, it may be something we look at moving a block north to 2nd Avenue if a policy changes in town, but we'll take a look at that as we go. But for now, it's on Dakota Avenue, the 400 and 500 blocks. People around here know it as Heritage Square, the Heritage Square area. We put the band at Heritage Square. I can make announcements down there because of the sound system that we use to play Christmas music and things during the holidays. So I can do that and make some announcements and make sure our sponsor, Smith Motors, has been for a couple of years.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a good place, it's a good time. And like I say, if the weather cooperates, it can be a really fun night.
And that's September 11th?
September 11th.
3 to 7?
4 to 7.
4 to 7, sorry.
Yeah, we'll open the street about 3:30 for the cars to start
Okay.
coming in.
Okay, so, just even for traffic, we're shut down there.
Yeah, the Dakota Avenue is completely
Just
shut
to give a
down.
heads up to everyone in the community.
Yeah, those 2 blocks, and they put barriers up. You'll know it's,
Yeah,
it's closed. And we just ask people not to try to drive through until it's off the street, because they're parked at an angle. They're out into the lanes and whatnot, and we don't want to damage those nice cars.
And that's on the 11th. I think in my head that would
That's
be
a Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Yep.
So that's a Thursday. So with that said, on September 13th, 2 days after, is the Bull
that
Bash.
Saturday.
And I think you're going to sit down with Ross.
We'll talk with Ross about
Yeah.
more details, but yeah, that's September 13th. So, all right, now I'm here with Ross Giese. You're on the Wahpeton Fire Department.
Correct.
And you're basically the coordinator now for Bull Bash, correct?
I am, yeah. I once Brett Lambrick left, I kind of volunteered myself to be the bull chairman. Obviously, we have a huge community with a big group of people that help me in so many ways that I can't even begin to express how grateful I am for them, those people. But yeah, I'm the guy everyone goes to when things go wrong. So
And hopefully they're the one you thank.
Yeah.
You're the one they thank when things go right. So going off of what you mentioned about people, this is not something that a few people can put on, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it takes the whole fire department to put this event on. We have a select, I want to say it's 15 people that get together, as the bull committee. But it takes the entire department. We're sitting at between 30 to 40 people on the department right now that everybody chips in and everybody does their part.
Sure. Yeah, and because this is something that not only do you bring in a company that puts it on, you have real live bulls and everything that that are part of this event, obviously, but you're talking about upwards of 1,500 people, spectators that you've had in the past. So this is a big event.
Absolutely, it's one of the biggest events that I've ever not even coordinated, been a part of, helping in any way. It's probably one of the biggest events, in this community that I've been to as, a citizen.
Right. Yeah. So this year you're changing venue, you are adding on the Breckenridge Fire Department.
Yep.
How is that transition going?
I think that transition is going extremely well. You know, we kind of brought this event to them because they were looking for another fundraiser. We're constantly helping each other between the Wahpeton Fire Department, the Breckenridge Fire Department. You know, we're the twin towns, right? We are one. You know, we always help each other when we can. You know, it doesn't matter if it's events like this or even mutual aid as far as fire calls go. They need a helping hand, we'll go over there and help them. You know, same goes for us. You know, if we ask them to help, they're always the first to jump in line. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. So one of the nice things about the Bull Bash is it's a unique event, but it's also a fun community event.
Absolutely. So, you know, everyone looks at this as a fundraiser for the fire department. To me, it's not just a fundraiser for the fire department. To me, it is about community interaction. You know, a lot of the community, they only see us when, you know, it's a fire, you know, a disaster. You know, we want to build relations on a good side. You know, we don't want to always be the guys that people see in distress. You know, we wanted to have an event where we can intermingle with the community. They can get to know us a little better. You know, create a fun setting for the fire department to be involved in versus, you know, the latter. You know, the bad sides of what we do. So that was a big reason why we got this all started.
Yeah, and that's great. I think it's a great way to interact with the community. I've always been very appreciative of the fire department when they play roles in, you know, not only parades, but when they do the escort in and out of town for teams and things like that. That's a great way too, but this is much more of even a personal, you're going to see the department walking around and working with people at the gate or whatever it is. So really fun. I think it'll be a great thing for the community as a whole. So looking forward to it. Okay, so this year it's going to be in Wells Park, which I think is going to be a good thing.
Yep.
Going to be a nice location. People will be able to see it more easily than before because you come over on that bridge to and from Wabrec. It's going to be quite a sight, I think, seeing everything the way that's set up. Because there's a lot that goes into that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and one last thing we'll talk about here is the proceeds from this Bull Bash go to what?
So the proceeds from the Bull Bash, they go straight back to the fire departments. You know, we use the money for recruitment, retention, and then, you know, purchasing special equipment, you know, such as like thermal cameras, for example, you know, things that aren't on the normal, you know, maintenance, you know, rotation to get, you know, every so often. Obviously, you know, we get grants and stuff for gear and whatnot, but sometimes, you know, the grants are only so much, so if we need 5 sets of gear and we only get a grant for 2 sets, you know, this is also where this money can be used for, you know, anything that's out of the realm of our normal annual purchasing. So if you think about it, you know, the money goes back to the community by coming to us to make our jobs easier and better. You know, it helps the community in a long way.
Yeah, kind of the community gets 2 benefits, a fun event and also a stronger fire department. So really good to have. Let's just go through the dates and everything again. Saturday, September 13th, Wells Park in Breckenridge, Minnesota. Gates open at 3. Event starts at 5.
Yep.
Live music after.
Yes, Breckenridge Fire Department will be putting on live music, so that's part of their thing that they're adding to the Bull Bash this year. So
great. All right. Good time. Always very popular. We cross our fingers for good weather, but it's most years it's been, I think, pretty good. So looking forward to it. Once again, be a good event for the community, both communities. So thanks, Ross, for talking with me.
You bet.
Appreciate it, and we'll look forward to the 13th.
Awesome. See you then.
Thanks.
Fall is here almost.
Yeah, fall is just about here. You wouldn't tell by the weather outside.
Kids are going back to school this week?
Yeah. This week, this week is college move-in. This weekend is college move-in, which is a big week for the city of Wahpeton, Breckenridge, the surrounding area, just because of all the people that will be coming to town, not only that weekend to move their students in, but also the students themselves then will be staying in town. And the public schools for both Wahpeton and Breckenridge start soon. It's going to get to be a really fun time in the Twin Towns because of all the activity.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, this podcast is kind of what we're trying to build to provide insight, useful information for the public. Just like, and this was my topic to touch today, was Fall Cleanup Day. You know, that comes up here soon. reached out to Waste Management. I haven't gotten an official date yet, but usually we try to get it on the bills to let the residents know that it's coming so that you can be prepared. In the fall, we have them go out to Waste Management to drop it off. So no one's coming to the house to pick up the trash. You actually have to take it out to Waste Management. So, those are the kind of things that we want to bring on this podcast, is to give you guys some information, some insight, and, sit down and Chris has always got something new happening in town.
Got something going on.
Yeah, always. So, before we sign off, we want to let you know that you're more than welcome to contact us at City Hall or look at the website, because Chris is always updating it.
Yep.
All the social media.
Right.
We're always, Chris is staying on top of those things to make sure that you guys have something, at least to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that actually is going to be a good way. Next thing, maybe we'll talk about the different formats, platforms we have to get information out to people, because I do want people to know more about the city app too. And we'll talk about how to get on there and how to download it.
Yeah, it's always good to, kind of have these conversations and let them know where we're at. Right. So, perfect. Well, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us for 10 minutes or so. We will be back next week.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to do it regularly to make sure people get the information. It's a fun way to do it.
Yeah. You guys have a great day.
Thanks.
Yep.